Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. There was an interesting incident at a recent WWE live event in Glasgow. Now, usually at WWE live events, it's much looser than sort of a Raw or a SmackDown. There's a lot more fan interaction. There's just a lot more fun. And so I encourage everyone to go to a WWE live event if they can. Tickets are normally cheaper, so maybe you can get front row, and then you can have interactions with the wrestlers. So generally, as the wrestlers are walking back to or through to go back to the curtain, they generally take some pictures with the fans, maybe some selfies, maybe sign some t-shirts or get some signs, whatever the case may be. And so in these moments, us as fans have to be really good at understanding boundaries and emotional parameters and sort of where to put our hands, where not to put our hands, how to lean in, how to take the selfie. Some very important sort of intuitive things that we need to realize as fans so we keep the interactions with the wrestlers positive and that they want to continue doing these things. I mean, this goes for, airport interaction or hotel interactions. We just have to do a great job of making sure, yes, that the wrestler does feel comfortable. It's our job as human beings to treat them as human beings, and it's very important. And so we have this recent incident at a WWE live event where CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are taking pictures with fans, after the show, after the main event or whatever it is. And the same sort of incident happens twice with the same woman. She keeps putting her hand around their neck, their shoulder, and their head, and they keep sort of ducking away and moving it and getting back to sort of the taking the selfie with the fans who are actually engaging in an appropriate manner. And she does it to CM Punk, he moves away. She does it again, he moves away, probably tells her to stop. I mean, that's at least what the video is displaying to me. Same thing happens with Cody Rhodes, hand on the back, hand on the shoulder, hand on the neck, places that you shouldn't be putting your hand as someone who doesn't know you. It's just someone who you look up to as a fan, and you're just trying to take a picture with them. So that's just inappropriate behavior and sort of rude, and it shouldn't happen with fans to wrestlers. And now more information came out about this woman, that she is a OnlyFans creator. So there's some insight that says that she was only doing this as a way to get publicity because she knew she would do this. Someone would film it and then post it on the internet, and more people would talk about her, and then more traffic potentially would be driven to her OnlyFans site. Now, yes, that might be true, as she might be attention seeking or seeking attention via some of these things, but the point that remains important is how we want to interact with wrestlers, and that's just not the way to do it. We have to have some boundaries, some emotional parameters, because wrestlers are going out of their way to talk to you, to take the pictures with you, especially at these WWE live events where they're on this European tour, and it's very tiring, it's very exhausting, and they're taking the time out because they love it, and they want to take pictures with you, and they want to show you that they care and they appreciate you, but then touching them on the back of the neck or the shoulder or wherever it is, it's very inappropriate, especially with guys like Punk and Rhodes who are married, very loyal married men, is from what I can tell, which is amazing, which is a high character trait of both of those men. And so, yeah, if you might be doing it, I guess, to seek attention or so people talk about you online, and OnlyFans is a whole nother discussion, which we're not going to get into, but just as fans, we have to see that interaction, see it online, and know that that's not the behavior that we want to portray, that's not the behavior that we want to embody, whether at a show, taking a selfie, at a signing, at the hotel, at the airport. We want to have the best interactions possible with these wrestlers so they're more inclined to continue doing these types of things, and so we can build on that fan wrestler sort of emotional base and the trust we have between each other, and all of that stuff is extremely important. So that incident happened, and then I wanted to relay that as a way where we can learn from it as fans so we can grow and do better with these interactions we have with wrestlers. And then speaking of wrestlers and sort of the grind, there was some conversation on the internet this week about independent professional wrestling. Maybe most of you know, like WWE, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, some of these bigger companies, but the majority of the people that you see on television came from independent professional wrestling. And that's just, wrestling at your local gymnasium or armory or whatever the case may be, going from show to show, town to town. And if you want to be someone who's recognizable, a top star in professional wrestling, generally speaking, you have to go through the independent professional wrestling circuit. Now, if you're a fan, if you're watching this and you've never been to an independent professional wrestling show, I encourage you to find one in your local area. They're so fun. It's like WWE live event, even better, because these are the stars of the future. These guys are getting after it. These girls are getting after it. They're trying their best. They're doing the best to chase the dream that they love, so that one day, maybe they can make a full-time living from being a professional wrestler. I don't know if their job is to be on TV, but it's definitely to be a full-time professional wrestler. And there's a lot that goes into that behind the scenes that most people just don't understand, the grind of it all. I used to be a full-time independent professional wrestler named Jackson Stone. I still get in the ring and compete every once in a while now, but it used to be my full-time job. And you would travel Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Cars, planes, hotels, driving, 8 hours, this hours, bop, bop, bop. Working Monday through Wednesday, trying to work maybe Thursday night if you have a local show, trying to work Friday if you have a local show, then flying out Saturday and Sunday, and then trying to come back Monday and get back to work. Maybe you're home late Sunday, maybe you had a hardcore match. And then there's so many different moving pieces that we should just, as fans or whatever the case may be, is just appreciate how much it takes to actually reach a certain level where you are making a full-time living on the independent circuit, and then you're getting moved through the ranks. Yes, not every single person in WWE specifically went through the indies, because you have guys who get plucked out now from NIL deals or from college sports, and they get put into NXT and they learn sort of how to do the thing there, but they're still traveling in the road in NXT and sort of learning that. But most people aren't handed a WWE contract like a Logan Paul. Most people have to go through the trenches and actually love the business, learn the business, and then grind their way through the top through car rides and plane rides and showing up at shows and bad shows, good matches, bad matches, making merch, bringing the merch, doing everything we can on social media to put ourselves over. And all of these things sort of compile our mini business that we're trying to get out into the world, so more people know and understand the love that we have for professional wrestling and the absolute trenches and grind it takes to make it, to have a full-time living in this business. And so that's very important when thinking about, yes, fan and wrestler interactions, when thinking about how much the wrestlers have sacrificed to get to the point they're at. So yes, we can criticize them and maybe what's happening in the ring, but we can't criticize the love they have and the passion they have for the business, because we have no idea really what it took for them to get there. And most of the time, it took a lot of blood, sweat, tears, determination, grind, being in the trenches, doubt, all of these sorts of things that you see regular people go through when they're chasing their dreams. And I think that's really important to understand as we expand social media and start to really get to know the people behind the wrestler. It's important to know where they came from and how they got to the spot that they're at. Speaking of being at the spot they're at, let's talk about Jey Uso. Is he a top guy now? I don't think he's a top guy. I think he's one of the top guys. And he made a really important statement, I think, on the podcast post-Raw. I think it's called Raw Recap, where he said, yeah, there are a ton of wrestlers who are better than me, who can do more dope shit than me, who can do 20 moves, but they're not at the top like me because they don't have the fan engagement and the fan investment like me. To be a full package, to be the best, sort of most over professional wrestler, WWE wrestler on the planet, you have to have a lot of different things. You have to have a lot of different attributes and qualities. But one of the most important ones, maybe the most important one, is the investment from the fans. It doesn't matter that you can do 25 of the coolest moves on the planet if no one gets out of their seat for it, if everyone is sitting on their hands during your match, even though you portray all these really cool moves. If there's no investment, if there's no engagement, if no one cares, then it doesn't matter what sort of moves you do. Professional wrestling at its best is about storytelling and about narrative. And the reason Jey Uso is on the top right now, or getting this main event match at WrestleMania and won the Royal Rumble, is because the fans care about what he does. And he's using the dive, botch, the slip as a way to portray this self-doubt, this doubt that we feel when we're heading into something that we really care about, an emotion that every human being on the planet has felt. Walking into a presentation or talking to a new person, we feel that doubt. We don't know if we're good enough. That's what Jey Uso feels in this moment, and that's the investment he has from the fans. So yeah, remember, John Cena, farewell tour right now, been wrestling for 23 years, considered one of the GOATs. To me, he's in my Mount Rushmore. Never was considered a great professional wrestler, but he got better as time went on, but he had the investment from the fans. And as he got better, people invested more, right? Same with Jey Uso. He's not the wrestler he was 15 years ago. He's not the tag team wrestler he was. He's built himself up to be this person that has investment from the fans. We look at John Cena, again, 5 moves of doom or whatever, but those 5 moves are the fans are invested in those moves. Randy Orton, RKO. Randy Orton's a fantastic professional wrestler, but he doesn't do a lot of moves. He doesn't do a lot of moves, but everyone knows the moves he does are impactful, they're powerful, and they're real, and they have investment from the fans. That's what makes Jey Uso a top guy. So when you're thinking about being a superstar in professional wrestling, that's what matters. Austin Theory, unbelievable body, great worker, just excellent overall in the ring, but he doesn't have the deep investment from the fans that is going to elevate him into the next level. Now, he can get it. Of course you can get it. You can get that investment from the fans anytime. Just have to have the right story, the right presence, the right character, the right aura, sort of the right entrance. All of those things matter. And so that's what makes Jey Uso the guy right now, or one of the guys right now. And I think that's important to understand as we inch closer to WrestleMania 41. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, all of your thoughts, predictions, anything you want to hear, you want to say, or you want to hear. Please let me know. And then like this video, subscribe to the channel as we build this thing together. See you guys next time. Cheers.